You know what's funny, sweetheart? Nobody laughs at jokes made about them. So someone right now is realizing they are the butt of the punchline. Not the fluttery nerves kind before meeting new people. No, no, no. We are talking marrow-deep, soul-churning realization as they check their phones, rehearse their lies in the shower, spiral on precisely what you worked out about them. And here is what makes what is happening right now so utterly delectable for you to witness and subsequently use as leverage. The delicious part is, and here is the part that makes me grin so wide until my scars hurt, you haven't even peeled your bandage off yet. And the fact that you haven't is what makes me so giddy, is because that person knows precisely what you know about them. Underneath their glossy exterior, their carefully manicured mask of politeness, they know their true self is currently on full display to you. And the fact they can't control it anymore, it's what's getting to them. It's what's rattling their cage, is the fact that they've finally come face to face with the idea that their inner workings aren't some alien code, only they can decipher. Now you can see all of it, and that's what's giving them heartburn, is the fact that they can't conceal it anymore from you. Think about that next time you feel like you've got someone pegged. Think about that. Think about how that has you feeling, because it makes me feel like you've reverse-engineered their playbook before they'd even had the chance to use it against you. That makes me feel like they think something is a secret, that they think something is buried and only for their eyes, and you've already been circling the wagons for weeks. They think they're burying something, and you've been sitting on the bones for months. So now, we are at the part in this particular show where the music swells until it sounds like 1,000 angels are peeling back layers of flesh to expose the raw meat underneath. Now we are at the part where the person we've been watching get exposed is staring you down, dissecting your face, calculating what you're going to do with the information you know. If you're going to peel your bandage off, or use it to wrap them up nice and tight, and toss them over your shoulder as you walk away. Now we are at the part where they are trying to determine if you are going to use what you know, or how you know it, to sidestep whatever trap they set for you. We are at the part where the person who spent their life putting on a show for everyone around them, it's the part where they know it's no longer working on you, and that's what's got them quivering in their shoes. So now think about something else. Think about how you feel, how you've always felt regarding your own abilities in this area. You might have spent most of your life second-guessing them, apologizing for them, being embarrassed about them because you thought you were too much or too quick to judge, or too trusting of your instincts. You probably experienced people brushing you off when you used them, laughed at you when you voiced your concerns because you were jumping to conclusions, not seeing the whole picture, putting words in people's mouths and reading too much into things, and you began to believe them. You began to internalize the fact that you were too much to keep those same people in your life. You learned to muzzle the siren song inside your skull until you could do it quietly, enough it wouldn't sound like much more than a whisper. But it is obvious to me is that this is when something inside you shifted and you began to listen to yourself more often and less critically. Stop listening to them. Hear this instead, darling. Most people are just NPCs, but you're a glitch in the matrix. Read The Evolution of the Anomaly, 73 pages of dark clarity. consider that your intermission. Grab it in the description. Now, let's get back to the show. You began to use it as your default for navigating the world. And you did this not because it was easy, but because it was effective. It was undeniably better to make a decision based on instinct instead of doubting yourself, until you didn't know what you were certain of anymore. It was better to trust in what you knew and not waste time proving negative, self-defeating thoughts to yourself. Some of you have learned to lean into your own power and use it as fuel instead of fighting it and wasting precious energy. You trusted your intuition not because it was right about everything, but about everything. But that was the part that made you feel right about everything in return. You are right about the people around you with a scary kind of precision, so scary it makes people around you feel physically ill. You are right about them in a way that makes them want to stop being around you, but not before you've extracted every ounce of information from them and used it to inform the way you handle the rest of the people in your life. You've used it to determine what to do with this information, and now you're sitting here marveling at the scary power you possess. You have the kind of intuition that makes people wish you weren't around because they understand, on some primal, instinctual level, that you can't be manipulated or gaslighted. You've got such a frighteningly accurate read on people that they know immediately that whatever they tell you is going to be filtered not by what they want you to think, but by what they want you to know. And the fact that their lies are so transparent to you is what makes it impossible to stop you from seeing everything. They know their performance is no longer working, that it's all been stripped away, and that they can't put it all back on again fast enough, so they can hide from you. But the fact they think that is the part that makes you feel the most invincible is the part that is happening right now, as someone else has begun to understand just how frighteningly accurate your intuition really is. They don't even know what it is you've seen, but the idea that you've seen it is what has them so wound up. It's the knowledge that their carefully constructed persona is failing them in front of you, and it's the fact that they have no way to stop it is what has them shaking in their boots. You are one of those people who know that intuition doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from years, decades, even, of learning to notice specific little tells in people that your body somehow remembers long before you even begin to consciously think about them, and you are one of the lucky ones who have learned to listen to those little clues for most of your life. You're one of the few who've learned to utilize your powers, to hone in on them and sharpen your awareness in a way that makes other people feel exposed. Your intuition has served you in a myriad of ways, and the fact that you're one of the few people who know how to use it makes it even more special. But it is the knowledge that you can trust your instincts. That is the part that makes you so much more powerful than most. Because you don't need to overthink anything anymore. You can rely on the little voice in your head to steer you in the right direction, and you've learned to listen to it so closely that now it's almost always right. Think about the last time you had an intuitive reaction to someone. Really think about it. What happened? That moment when it all came together, when you felt some primal part of you sense something just wasn't quite right in another person. You felt it in your gut, right? And then you rationalized it, most likely, because you thought you were being too quick to judge, that you were too suspicious of this person. Most people think their intuition is gaslighting them if they ignore it, and they let someone walk all over them, or that it betrays them if they listen and end up in a bad situation. So it's very common for them to think they're the problem when they're intuiting something that ends up being right. But now think about the part when you knew you were right to feel the way you did. Think about how it felt when you were proven right, and what it was like to actually feel vindicated. Isn't it strange how you feel a mix of pride and shame when something you just knew turns out to be true? You feel so good about being right, but it always mixes in with this strange guilt about having been right in the first place, because you felt so weird for thinking this awful thing about someone before you'd even had the chance to prove it. But it was that internal dialogue, that conversation with yourself, that made you so much better prepared to handle this person and the situation you found yourself in. Because you'd done all this internal groundwork before you'd done any actual investigating, it made you that much more prepared when it came time to deal with the fallout in reality. So while other people are reeling from a surprise they didn't see coming, you already knew exactly what to do because it all clicked together in your head in the moments before it all came down. The person who's had their mask peeled back and exposed to. Your gaze is feeling particularly awful right now because they don't even know what it is you know. They can't pinpoint the one thing that made you realize they weren't as great as they pretended to be. They can't know for sure what it was that made you see through them because they don't want to admit it. The uncertainty of it is what's getting to them, because it means they don't know what to do to fix it, to keep you from doing anything with the information you've gleaned from them, is what has them feeling so awful. The fact that they can't even control the circumstances or the outcome, that they can't stop you from knowing more about them than they want you to, is the thing that has them shaking in their boots. Now think about something else. Something different. Think about the people in your life who know that you have scary intuition and how it affects them. They think they can manipulate you, but you know they can't. And you've spent a lot of time thinking about how to use that against them. And it made you think about your other relationships in similar ways. You've learned to trust your intuition when it comes to other people. But now you've begun to think about this latest person in particular. You've begun to use it as fuel because you think it makes you stronger and more prepared to deal with them. Now think about it in a new context because now you're thinking about the way other people are also influenced by you in their decisions in your life. You're thinking about how people who have had their lies peeled back for everyone to see feel about you and how it makes you think differently about your relationship with them. You can see how they react to you. You can see how they behave around you, and you think about how it informs your behavior around them. You're wondering if other people feel threatened by your intuition the same way you feel threatened by other people's. You are thinking about how you feel when you're around these people and how you think other people feel when they're around you. You're wondering if people feel the same pressure you do when they know you're smart enough to see through them. But you don't think it makes you feel so strange, because it makes them feel so strange around you, that it makes you want to be distant too. And now, think about something else. Think about what it means to have scary intuition and how it influences the way you deal with people. You think about how most people have been around people who know how to use their intuition against them before, and how it has made them wary of it in general. It has made them leery of people in general, because they know most of those people are just using it to hurt them. It has made them so afraid of being found out that they hide themselves very well from others in general. And that is what it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder about these people, and if they're hiding something from you, and how it has made you more reluctant to trust them. It's made you more hesitant to put your faith in people, because you know so many of them have hidden their true intentions from you and other people in the past. But you think about how you know people hide things from you, how you know they use your intuition to keep you from being able to trust them, but you don't want to be like them. You don't want to use your intuition to hurt other people or use it as a shield to keep people from getting close to you, is what makes you think that people who hide things from you are much worse than people who use their intuition against you. I think you would be the type of person to notice how people hide things from you and think about the ways you can change your intuition to hurt them as much as they hurt you. You would think about the ways you can use it to hold other people accountable for their actions. But you are also thinking about the different ways to utilize it to protect your peace. Instead of attacking other people's, you think about how you can use it to improve your personal relationships rather than just hurt them. But now, think about something else, something different. Think about how it influences other people and how it can be used as something to help you. People who have spent their lives hiding things from others tend to feel the most threatened by people like you. People who have learned to utilize their powerful intuition tend to feel safest around other people who have utilized their powerful intuition too. The people who hide things from you are always the most threatened by you and are usually the easiest to manipulate because they know you can see them for what they are. But they also know it is the worst way to be around you because they are always aware it could be taken out on them. The people who use their intuition against you and other people are also the hardest to manipulate because they know everyone else can see through them too. And it's because they know that is how you will treat them, that you will wield it against them, that it is always the safest option. So you think about all the different ways these people influence each other and what it all means for you. Now think about something else, something different. Think about how it has changed your life now that you've stopped doubting yourself and have begun to utilize your own intuition in your relationships. How have things changed for you since you've stopped second-guessing yourself? What differences have you seen in the relationships you've cultivated since you've begun to use your intuition to make smarter choices? You've likely seen that the relationships you've maintained are healthier than ones you've left behind because of it. You've benefited from the decisions you've made based on them, which has made you much safer in your daily interactions with other people. You are much more likely to know what to do in each situation in your life now that you've begun to use your intuition to guide you instead of ignoring it or feeling bad about it. You've learned to use it to make better choices in your relationships with other people, which has benefited you tremendously. You've been thinking for a long time about the differences in your life before and after the decision to utilize your powerful intuition. You're thinking about how it has made you safer in general, how it has made you able to sidestep potentially harmful situations and interactions. You think about how you're better equipped to notice when people are being fake around you. And you're thinking about how you can utilize this new information to benefit you. You know more about people around you, which means you're in a much better position to decide what to do with it. You've made many decisions about what to do in your relationships, with these people in particular. But now you're thinking about your other relationships, too. Think about how it has changed your interactions with other people, and what it has taught you about them. Think about the differences it has made in your interactions with people in general, about how you've learned to be safer because you've been able to steer clear of potentially harmful people. You've learned to utilize your intuition to make better choices in your life, to make safer decisions, and to protect yourself in your interactions with these people. And now, think about something different. Think about how other people are thinking about what you've seen in their lives is what makes you think about the last time you were right about something and how it made you feel. Think about how you felt when it all came together, when you were proven right about something you felt in your gut, and you felt so good about being right. How did it feel to actually get to be proven right? Does it fill you with pride to know you can predict what people intend to do? Does it make you feel vindicated about being right? What does it make you feel when you're right about people and situations? It makes you feel safe, right? It makes you feel more prepared to deal with people in general, because you know what they intend to do, because you know what they're after. It makes you feel safer in your interactions with other people, because you know you're much less likely to be hurt by them, because you know exactly why they're doing what they're doing, and you know precisely what you're meant to be on guard for. And it makes you feel prepared to deal with the fallout, because you know you're right, because you know why you're right, because you know exactly what's happened and what is going to happen next. But it also makes you feel terrible, because you know the person is wrong, because you know it makes them feel awful about themselves. It makes you feel guilty about being right, because they feel so terrible about being wrong about everything. But you think about it in a different light altogether, because you know the person made bad choices, and you know they're paying the price for it, is what makes you think about how badly it hurts when people lie to you. I think you would be the type of person who thinks about it in a different light altogether, because you are also thinking about the consequences of people's actions. You know the people who have lied to you are being punished for it, because you know they're feeling so terrible about it. So you think about the consequences of their actions as if you, too, are being punished for them. You think about how their guilt feels just like your own, and it makes you think about the repercussions everyone has to deal with for lying to you. And it makes you want to punish people who have lied to you, because you know they deserve it. But now, think about something else, something different. Think about the consequences of other people's actions as if you're the one who has to deal with them. Think about how other people are thinking about the people who have lied to you, because they know they have to deal with them. They are thinking about them in the same way they think about you, because they know you think about them in this way too. They are thinking about the people who have lied to you in the same way they think about themselves, because they know you think about them in the way you think about yourself. You are thinking about the people who have lied to you in the same way you think about them, because you know they think about you in this way. You are thinking about it all in a different way, because you know it all has to be dealt with, but you want it to be dealt with in a different way.